Thank you, Phyllis. That was just beautiful. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Bloomington. My name is Dan, and I'll be your service leader today. At Unity, we offer practical spiritual teachings that empower abundant and meaningful living. And we are a center for spiritual growth, and we provide inspiration, tools, and practices that support people on their path of spiritual growth. Please stand and join us in combining our voices in joyful song.
My mind is open to changing the world. Let it begin, let change begin with me. My heart embraces a world wrapped in peace. Let it begin, let peace begin with me. I am an agent of change, a sweet dove of peace. I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. I am an agent of change, a sweet dove of peace. I am love. Let love begin with me. We move together toward all that is just. Let it begin, let justice begin with us. We are agents of change, sweet doves of peace. We are love, we are love, we are love, we are love. We are agents of change, sweet doves of peace. We are love unfolding. We are love unfolding. I see joy, I see peace, I see goodness surrounding me. I see love in every breath I breathe. I see God in everything. I see happiness, I see freedom. I see the beauty that lives in me. I see perfections in what life brings. I see God in everything. I feel joy, I feel peace, I feel goodness surrounding me. I feel love in every breath I breathe. I feel God in everything. I feel happiness, I feel freedom. I feel the beauty that lives in me. I feel perfection in what life brings. I feel God in everything. I know joy, I know peace, I know goodness surrounding me. I know love in every breath I breathe. I know God in everything. I know happiness, I know freedom. I know the beauty that lives in me. I know perfection in what life brings. I know God in everything. I know God in everything.
Please remain standing and join me in affirming our statement of being. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. And this power expresses life, love, wisdom, and abundance through me. In it I live and move and have my being. Please have a seat. One way we empower abundant and meaningful living is by the practicing and living our 5 basic principles. and I'll state the principle, and I invite you to respond with the affirmation. God is absolute good, everywhere present. God is. We have a spark of divinity within us, the Christ Spirit within. Our very essence is of God, and therefore we are also inherently good. I am. We create our experience of life by the activity of our thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought. I create. Prayer is creative thinking that heightens the connection with God-mind and therefore brings forth wisdom, wholeness, prosperity, and everything good. I pray. And through thought, words, and action, we live the truth we know. I live. I now invite Ginger up to have a moment with our children.
Thank you so much. Hi, Ella. How are you doing? Let's just sit right here. I had to bring notes today. I'll let you in on the secret. So, Betsy, can you put that first slide up there? So this month, we're talking about order. And one of our affirmations is that even, like, I don't remember the affirmation, but we're going to hear it in a little bit, but it has something to do with paradox. What do you think about when you hear order?
I don't know.
Does your mother ever ask you to clean your room?
So many times.
So many times. And I think that your mom probably wants you to put your room in order. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
She wants you to put everything in its place. So you're organizing. And that's one characteristic of order. But also, it's about looking at life's paradoxes and still finding balance. Do you know what, have you ever walked on a balance beam?
Yes.
So you have to, usually you put your arms out like this and then you're walking a straight line. What happens if you fall off? What happens if you miss your step?
You fall?
Exactly. You're reading my mind. So I want to talk about paradox. So you can read here with me. It says, the dictionary defines paradox as a statement or proposition that seems self-contradictory. Do you know what the word contradictory means? It means that it's true, but then it's false at the same time. Or that they seem like opposites. So self-contradictory or absurd, meaning there's no way that can be true. You know, it's impossible for that to be true. But in reality, it expresses a possible truth. So, Betsy, go to that next slide. And our first one is saving money by spending it. Have you saved any money?
Actually, yes.
She has. She's starting off really well. So think about that for a moment. How can you save money if you spend it? That sounds crazy, doesn't it?
Actually, it doesn't sound crazy.
Oh my goodness, maybe she's going to go into finances, Janine. So it doesn't sound, because sometimes if you spend your money on something that's not quality, you might have to keep buying that thing over and over and over again, spending more money. And if you had just bought something that was a good quality, like, material was really good, then you only have to buy one. So what you did was you spent a little more money up front so that you didn't have to spend a lot of money later. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. You're doing great. You're just playing along with everything. I appreciate that. So saving money or spending money to save money, that's a paradox. It says, you first hear that and you go, no, if I spend it, I'm not saving it. That makes no sense. Another one, put that next one up here, is that if I know one thing, it's that I know nothing. If I only know one thing, how can I know nothing? If you know one thing, what do you know?
That one thing.
That one thing. That doesn't make any sense. If I know one thing, I know nothing. But here's what happens is that as we know more and more, we realize that we really don't know that much. So it sounds contradictory. If I know one thing, it's that I know nothing. Well, that doesn't make any sense. But what it's saying is that if I know one thing, I know that I really don't know very much. So they're words, they're phrases that kind of contradict each other, but there's truth in it. The last one. This is the beginning of the end. What do you think about that one?
Probably like I don't know.
I don't know either. It's the beginning of the end. If it's the end, it's the end, right? How can it be the beginning? But if you look at things like, say if you have section 1, section 2, and section 3. So section 1 has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Section 2 has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Section 3 has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So what it's saying is, this is the beginning of section 3. This is the beginning of the ending phase. But when you first hear that, you go, oh my goodness, that makes no sense. If it's the end, it's the end. It can't be the beginning, because that's the beginning. So do you kind of understand that there are phrases that when you first hear them, you're like, that makes no sense at all. But when you think about it a little deeper, when you dive down a little deeper, you go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So that's called a paradox. It seems like it's contradictory. How can it be the beginning if it's the end? That's contradictory. One's the beginning, one's the end. So what we're being called to do this month is to navigate kind of these paradoxes of life, spending money to save money. The more I know, the one thing I know is that I know nothing. How do you balance that in your life without falling over? And that's what we're going to be discussing and exploring this month is how do we keep our balance in life when sometimes it just doesn't make sense? Does life sometimes not make sense to you? Sometimes. Join the club. Sometimes life does not make sense, but that's okay. It's okay because you and I have within us all that we need to keep our balance during the uncertain times. So it's so nice to see you, and I love your purple, because you remember what I told you last time? My favorite color is purple. So thank you for wearing my favorite color today, Ella. You are a blessing. We're going to sing that to you right now. We love you. We bless you. We truly, truly appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you.
Ginger, when Beth got pregnant, I knew that was the beginning of the end of my life as I knew it. But it was the beginning of a new section. I always that one made sense to me. September 2021. Can you believe it's September already? And our theme is order. And this year, Unity's annual theme is how to stay centered no matter what. And each month we explore the role of the 12 powers plays in staying centered and experiencing inner peace no matter what's occurring around us. And this month we are exploring the power of order. And order is built into all of life, and it is the architecture of the universe. Everything from the spirals of the Nautilus to the hexagonal honeycomb, from infinity lines to ever-expanding circles, displays an orderliness that dazzles scientists and theologians alike. Order fascinates us. We rely upon it. We study and make meaning of it. The order we sense and experience in the world, in the natural world, is a material representation of spiritual order. The intelligent, underlying, and overarching, though invisible, order out of which all becomes possible. When chaos seems to reign, we may doubt the reality of spiritual order. Either the universe is unfair, or God knows what we do know. However, God is not a superhuman personality that imposes order. Rather, God is order, the organizing principle revealed in the pattern and the sequence inherent in all of life. Divine order is not a correction of some unhappy condition, but an integrated arrangement of energy in a pattern, sequence, or method. So please join me in affirming this month's affirmation. Together, understanding divine order, I can embrace paradox and navigate chaos while keeping my balance. It's now time for the daily word. And of course, the word for today is balance. And the affirmation is, with God, I live a life of balance. So from the daily word on Sunday, September 5th, work can be a fulfilling use of my talents and efforts. I may enjoy the challenge of growing in responsibility and using my ambition to accomplish great things. But if I work too much or for too long, my energy might start to wane and my thinking become dull and uninspired. Likewise, too much leisure time may rob me of motivation and pull me into a spiral of inactivity. Spiritual practices bring precious balance into my life. Through prayer, I touch eternity and feel the presence of God within. Through meditation, I focus my mind and feel calm and grounded. Through speaking affirmations, I claim divine ideas and act on inspiration. In gratitude, I find balance in God, the one presence and one power in my life. And from the Hebrew scriptures of Job, chapter 31, verse 6, let me be weighed in a just balance, and let God know my integrity. So let's join together in speaking the affirmation aloud. Together, with God, I live a life of balance. And now repeat it to yourself silently. With God, I live a life of balance. Our speaker today is our spiritual ministry co-coordinator, Ginger Curry, and our Unity music team will now provide our musical inspiration.
Tis a gift to be simple, tis a gift to be free, tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight, when true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we will not be ashamed. To turn, will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. 'Tis a gift to be loved and that love to return. 'Tis the gift to be taught a richer gift to learn. And when we expect of others what we try to live each day, then we'll all live together and we'll all learn to say, when true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we will not be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in a place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we are not be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Unity Music Team. Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you, Seb. Thank you, Andy. I'm so very grateful that you got to see the affirmation that I could not remember with Ella. So Ella, I'm gonna remind you of that affirmation. And you know what? I picked up the wrong paper. The one that has the order affirmation on it. Yeah. I have a story to tell about organization in just a few minutes, so please bear with me. So our order affirmation for the month is understanding divine order. I can embrace paradox and navigate chaos while keeping my balance. I can embrace paradox and navigate chaos while keeping my balance. And Betsy, can you go to that next? And so I love this, the affirmation or the saying that's on our sign outside. It says, chaos is an order we do not yet understand. I just love it because it gives us so much meat to chew on, so much, to just like think about and delve into. I think about how scientific discoveries that I learned back in the 80s when I was going to high school aren't scientifically taught anymore, because DNA discoveries have kind of changed the way we look at some of the science that we once thought we understood, and that science is always evolving and changing. Even our understanding of history changes as we discover more sources to garner philosophies and theories about how things came to be. So I love the fact that one of the things that we kind of teach here at Unity Charles Fillmore said it, one of the founders. He says, "This is what I believe right here, right now. But I remain open. I remain open to understanding more." That's a paraphrase. I remain open to seeing things in a new way. Because I have to be truthful with you. My understanding last week is different than it is today. I might have got a new perspective on something, and it's kind of changed the way I look at things now. So I love the sign. I hope that you take that and go, okay, what I see now is very chaotic, but maybe it's some order. Maybe it's a pattern that I'm not yet familiar with. So I'm just going to stay balanced as much as possible. Maybe stick my arms out to help. Maybe I just need one arm. Just depends on what's going on. So we're talking about order today. So guess what I dreamed about last night? Chaos. I had this dream that I was standing up here and the service was getting ready to start, and I noticed that I didn't have my notes with me, and they were in the car. And then I was trying to explain to my father that I needed him to go to my car and get the white bag in the back seat, and he just really couldn't understand that. And so I'm going, but Daddy, I will not know what to say if I do not have my notes. And so it all just evolved from there. And then when we get here this morning, about 10 minutes before the service, all of a sudden, all the females in the room, and Andy and Sept, started hearing this blaring beeping sound. And we're all going, what is that sound? And we're all like going to different corners of the chapel to see where the sound is coming from. And Dan's up here going, I don't hear a thing. Which was great for him. It was like, wow. And so we're like going, okay, we can't start the service with this beeping noise going, constant beeping noise in the background. And then thankfully, Andy discovered what the chaos was that was causing that beeping noise. So someone, the energy of the universe knew that we were going to talk about order today and organization. And so what did we get to do all morning and last night? Practice. We got to practice keeping our balance while embracing and navigating chaos and paradox in the world. So, next slide there, or maybe next two slides, there you go. So Charles Fillmore writes in Mysteries of Genesis, order is the first law of the universe. Indeed, there could be no universe unless its various parts were kept in perfect harmony. Do you sometimes think about how in the world are you and I here right now? It's all of the things that had to conspire together for the creation of each one of us is pretty miraculous when you think about it. All of the stars had to align. Your mom and dad had to meet. Things had to happen for you and I to be here. It's pretty inspiring when you think about just the miracle of you and I being here in this moment, right here, right now. There is some kind of order in the universe, which mostly we don't understand. Betsy, that next one. So, as you know, my favorite book, Linda Martella Whitsitt, Divine Audacity. I love this book. This is the clean version, meaning that it's not all tagged and doesn't have all the little notes in it, because I wouldn't be able to find anything because it'd be too big, too fat with my little sticky notes. So order, as Linda Martella Whitsitt tells us, is the power of organization, adjustment, and evolution. There's all kinds of words that you can use that kind of, but these are the ones that resonated with Linda. These are the ones that resonate with me. So organization. Let's go to that next slide, Betsy. It says, order is the framework, the structure, the pattern, and sequences at the heart of all of our lives. This is what I was talking about earlier, that there's a sequence and there's a pattern that's part of all of our lives. And that next slide, she goes on to say, we wield our spiritual powder of order in this sequence. First there's the mind, then there's the idea, and then there's the manifestation. And then I want to give you a tip. This is just for you here and on the internet. If you ever have to go, or if you ever decide to go to Unity Village and to kind of take one of those tests to get some licensing, you're going to hear this idea a lot. Mind, idea, and then instead of the word manifestation, they're going to use expression. So I'm going to read a passage from Divine Audacity. Linda writes, mind is the source of all possibilities, all that can be. One with mind, we have access to all that can be. So, mind. What we're talking about here is God, God mind, divine mind, oneness. Here we have all possibilities, all that can be. And it says, we catch hold of one idea in the Christ, or in the one mind. So now we have the idea. We catch hold of one idea in the one mind, and we develop that one idea by the use of our spiritual abilities, such as imagination, faith, and wisdom. And then that idea dwells in us. So it's kind of fermentating within us. It's gathering the energies of creativity and imagination. It's gathering wisdom, and it's gathering faith that maybe that idea can become a reality. And so that idea dwells in us, and it grows as a seed grows in fertile soil. We water it with enthusiasm and anticipation, and then that idea manifests as our experience. Idea, mind, manifestation. Idea, mind, expression. Mind, idea, experience. See the pattern there? We connect with our oneness through meditation, through reflection. We're connected to that oneness. We catch hold of an idea. An idea pops into our mind. Would this be possible? And so to that idea, we nurture it kind of in our heart, and we add creativity, we add imagination, we add wisdom to it. And then through that, we grow the seed, and then it becomes expressed in our outer experience. Mind, idea, expression. God, the Christ mind. Ginger, an idea. Love. Beauty. And then whatever that means to me gets expressed or experienced in my life. So, organization. The next part, let's go to the next thing. The next part that Linda Martello Witzes tells us about organization, or about order, is that it's our ability to adjust. When we make a plan, and when all the parts of that plan don't come together, what do? We just throw that plan away and go home. No, that's not what we do. We adjust. We adjust. We look at what reality has given us in this moment, and we use what we can use, and we make a new plan. We adjust to what's happening. So spiritually, adjustment is our power of modifying our thoughts, modifying the words, modifying our actions to support our wholeness or our being, to support that experience or expression. Adjustment. We respond to our circumstances. I have another paragraph. 164. Oh, wait. Talk about organization. I'm adjusting. All right. So one of the things that, talking about adjustment, that brings to mind the Sunday service team. We have a 13th power. They don't teach this at Unity Village, and there's no books written about this, but our 13th power is flexibility. Because sometimes we come together and we work on something and it's just not working. So we have to be flexible. So keep that 13th power in your back pocket at all times. It will come in handy. The power of flexibility to make adjustment. I thought it fit right in here. Betsy, let's go to that next slide. I wanted to talk more about paradox. So click it one again. So it says, the more I learn, here's some more paradoxes for you, Ella. The more I learn, the less I know. There was one time in my life where I thought I knew it all. Can anyone relate? I don't know. There was one time in my life when I thought I knew it all. Actually, I've never thought that. But, a lot of people think, oh, yeah, there was one time in my life I thought I knew it all. But now that I'm older, I know that I really, I just barely scratched the surface there. What's that next one? Failure leads to success. Now, that doesn't make sense at all. If you fail at something, you're a failure. No. The only way that you and I become successful at something is if we try it, it doesn't work, we go, oh, that didn't work. Maybe I need to adjust and try it again. And then I try it again if it doesn't work. Well, what didn't work that time? So this morning at 10:25, our wonderful PowerPoint and projector was not cooperating with me this morning. And so I just had to keep working at it until now we get to see what's up there. But I was not successful the first couple of times, but I just had to keep adjusting my strategies. So failure does not mean you're a failure. When you fail at something, it doesn't mean that it's a failure. It just means it didn't work. It means try it again. Try it again, because that's the only way that you and I are going to succeed. So the only certainty is uncertainty. Well, that's not comforting. The only certainty is uncertainty. What am I supposed to do with that? It's to remind us that life is uncertain. And for those that are trying to search for perfection, and those that are trying to search for that certainty that all is flowing wonderfully and beautiful in your life, more than likely you might be disappointed, because life is filled with uncertainty. And our goal or our mission is to rely on God, rely on that Christ Spirit, that oneness, so that we can balance paradox and chaos. The next one is the only constant is change. How many of us love change? Yeah, I know how to do something. I don't want to change how I do my stuff, because that's how I know how to do it. But folks, let me tell you, the only constant is change. Things are always evolving, and that brings us to our next example. Our next example of order is evolution. In spiritual circles, evolution is often referred to as spiritual unfolding or transformation. We've all experienced that. The idea of evolution or harmonious expansion is the divine idea flowing from the source or one mind. So I underlined, this is my underline, harmonious expansion, because I love it when I come across a phrase that it's like, wow, I like the way that sounds. Harmonious expansion. That sounds really good. If I'm going to unfold and evolve, I want to do it harmoniously and gracefully as I expand. So I love that idea that you and I can, if we're going to choose a path, let's try to choose the path where we are unfolding harmoniously. Let's choose that one. So that's the one that we get to experience. So how do we do that? You and I have to become, we don't have to do anything. You and I can choose to open our minds and our hearts, open our beliefs and ideas, open ourselves to be harmoniously unfolding. Open ourselves to the possibilities. Open and willing. I am open and willing to, I'm open and willing to navigate this transformation gracefully and easily. But you know what? If I get stuck in my beliefs, if I get stuck in how it's supposed to be, I am going to hold on to it as tight as I can, and it's not going to be a harmonious transformation. It's going to be a transformation with kicking and screaming attached to it. I don't know if you've had those kind of transformations. We all have to experience that so that we know that we don't want to experience that anymore. I want that harmonious expansion. So, order, organization, adjustment, and evolution. Everything is always changing, so we might as well get on board. Everything is always evolving, so we might as well evolve with it. Are you ready to be in the flow of spirit, ever harmoniously expanding, ever spiritually unfolding, ever being willing to express and experience more of our Christ nature? Well, let's pop up that next. I wanted to bring this back again. I think I had this in the PowerPoint so many times because I needed to get it into my brain. Understanding divine order, I can embrace paradox and navigate chaos while keeping my balance. The great thing about being in a spiritual community is that there are going to be times when I'm going to fall off my balance beam. And you in this community are going to be able to see for me that I have it within me to stay in that balance when maybe I can't see it for myself. So look around here, look around at each one of us, and just feel the gratitude that you know that if there ever comes a time where you might have misstepped on that balance beam of life, that you can call on any one of us, and we're going to say, I know that you've slipped off the balance beam, and that's okay. That's part of the human experience. And I want to remind you that you have within you to get right back up on that balance beam, to navigate the chaos, because the only certainty is uncertainty. In the daily word that Dan read earlier, he said, in gratitude, I find balance in God, the one presence and the one power in my life. So as we prepare for meditation, let's hold that thought. In gratitude, I find balance in God, the one presence and the one power in my life.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
I invite you now to close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Take a nice deep breath. And release. Unwind your arms, unwind your legs. Lengthen your spine as you feel the crown of your head just gently rising toward the ceiling. In gratitude, I can always come to this space where I can slow my breathing, where I could remember oneness, tap into the peace that's always available. Feel the energy of renewal as I commune with God. I am a human being. I am a spiritual being. How can I be both? What a paradox. But my truth is that I am first a spiritual being who is having a human experience. And that human experience has opportunity to feel and to express and to experience a wide range of emotions, to experience situations. And that sometimes I get lost in my humanness and forget that I am here for a small amount of time. And that the truth of me is that I'm an eternal being. And I can tap into this renewal and remembering at any moment when I'm feeling overwhelmed. So that as I am living this physical experience, I can learn and I can practice balancing. So I can practice navigating the chaos. So I can practice being a radiating center of peace in the midst of uncertainty. And I am grateful that I'm surrounded by other spiritual beings living the same human experience that are here to remind me and to lift me up when I forget. And so let's just rest for a minute in this gratitude, in this loving energy, in this peaceful, renewing energy, in the silence. Divinity in action. I am prosperity and wealth. I am freedom and forgiveness. I am the epitome of health. Although I am living a human existence, in truth, I'm a being of a spiritual realm. Although I am living a human existence, in truth, I'm a being of a spiritual realm. I am a spiral of expansion. I am greater than enough. I am compassionate and trusting. I am strong when it seems tough. Although I am living a human existence, in truth, I'm a being of a spiritual realm. Although I am living a human existence, in truth, I'm a being of a spiritual realm. I am endlessly creative. I am intuitively wise. I am here in divine timing. I am the sight beyond my eyes. Although I am living a human existence, in truth, I'm a being of a spiritual realm. Although I am living a human existence, in truth, I'm a being of a spiritual realm. In truth, I'm a being of a spiritual realm. In truth, I'm a being of a spiritual realm.
We now turn to the spiritual practice of generosity. We are grateful for the many ways that the center supports us in our spiritual growth, and we in turn are happy to support the center with our financial contributions and our voluntary service. We are also grateful to those of you who have already put in place automatic weekly, monthly, and quarterly giving. Thank you. And today, if you feel led to give, visit our website, unityofbloomington.org, and click on the giving link. And if you brought a tithe or love offering with you this morning, we invite you to place it in the singing bowl, which is in the back of the chapel, on your way out of the service. And the singing bowl is also where you can put any prayer requests into that. And you will find the prayer requests in the seat pockets in front of you as well. So please join me in speaking aloud our abundance affirmation. Together, I am an abundant being living in an abundant universe. God is the source of my supply. I am not dependent on people or situations for my good. God is the source of my supply. I always have something to give, and I consistently give it. I expect the best, I give my best, and I now attract the best in every experience.
God is the source of all I see. God is the source of all I see. God is the source in me. God is the source in me. God is the light in which I'm seeing. God is the light in which I'm seeing. God is the light in me. God is the light in me. God is the mind that I am thinking. God is the mind that I am thinking. God is the mind in me. God is the mind in me. God is the source and God is the light. God is the source and God is the light. God is the mind in me. God is the mind in me. God is the source of all I see. God is the source of all I see. God is the source in me. God is the source in me. God is the light in which I'm seeing. God is the light in which I'm seeing. God is the light in me. God is the light in me. God is the mind that I am thinking. God is the mind that I am thinking. God is the mind in me. God is the mind in me. God is the source and God is the light. God is the source and God is the light. God is the mind in me. God is the mind in me.
We bless our abundance with these words together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I'd like to invite you to stand now and join us in saying our closing prayer together. We give thanks for the light that fills us, the love that enfolds us, the power that heals us, the presence that guides us. Where we are, God is, and all is well. In gratitude for our radiant health, please remain in your place and join us in singing together, Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Let